I just touched down in LA, the Spanish, my favorite. It's that G, I keep it playing, so I put it on. She be in the she made a big. I got rolling over. Speeding to the money like I'm running from the feds. Posted with my just say yeah. I'm like, whoa, see residuals, watch the money grow. I'm in flow, greatest story told, watch it all unfold. I'm like, whoa, reaping what I sow. Harvest getting bigger, they all froze. I unleashed my soul, now they taking pictures of it. Eyes on the prize, it's my last soda. 5:45, had the lights on us. Fries for the side of an ice cola. You know that ride till the tires fall off. She know I'm a D, I got a date with destiny. She coming to me, cause I got the flavors and recipe. She racing to me like an athlete. She two with the G's, and she know it. Yeah. It's eyes on the prize, I can't live life in disguise. Cause real recognize I ain't gotta compromise. I keep it concise, the gang tied up. Ties on the industry advice. I'm outside with some good fellas and some nice guys trying to live life in the sky. We lit in real life, we don't pay to be verified. We just manifest, lay and grind on the rise. We defy the odds like it's nothing, time after time. God bless this eternal shine, yeah. Eyes on the prize, it's my last soda. 5:45, had the lights on us. Fries for the side of an ice cola. You know that ride till the tires fall off. She know I'm a D, I got a date with destiny. She coming to me, cause I got the flavors and recipe. She racing to me like an athlete. She two with the G's, and she know it. Eyes on the prize just to see how far I go. Yeah. Shooting star, yeah. All over the globe. Hard work, all I ever know. So nobody could tell me I'm not wet my way and go. Yeah, I'm in my zone, yeah, through this microphone. The way they're looking at me like they seen a UFO.
It's a pretty frigid December day in our nation's capital, but luckily for us, we have our heaters cranked all the way up here in the booth at Commanders Field. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Right out of the gates, Lance going to the air. Caught. It's Huff. Yeah, he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Throwing now is Lance. Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. In motion, the tight end. And Lance now to throw. Able to hit his target, Lamb. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series.
Oh, Lance has it knocked free. The ball is loose. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, you got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Now, these two teams, they met up way back in the season opener. And it was the Commanders who picked up the road victory, so they'll be fighting for the season sweep in this one.
Here we go, set. Dragon 60.
Here's Daniels. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Good yardage after the catch as that play good for 30 and a first. The offense has to love that because that was just a dump down, and then he turned something out of seemingly nothing.
And the best quarterbacks understand that dumping it down is often a good play, a better play than even what was drawn up.
They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
The ball resting on the 20. Here's 2nd and 6. They'll run. Here comes a rookie from Michigan State. And he's got this pretty close to a first down at the Cowboys' 14. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming. So there the defense denies the rookie of his potential first career touchdown.
And his first NFL touchdown celebration. I wonder if he's thought about it, if he has something cooked up in his head as he worked on with his team, and think about the celebration back home when he finally scores his first touchdown.
You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. We'll see what he does.
Well said, sir. Well said.
That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage, so they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. So the completion good for 7 there, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Ready? Go! Cut it!
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Commanders. A great effort there with his 13th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Commanders take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Lutz good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
Now the first carry here for their running back. They find some open field here. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Start of the second quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Here's Lance. That is incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Lance to throw it. On the out route, it's Lamb with a grab. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 34-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage, because they're dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, if it was to bring in your tight end, keep him in, your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And 3rd and 8 now.
Timing is so important on a route like this, because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late, because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there.
I don't care how many times we say it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Lance. Able to find Willis. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Again, it's Charbonnet. And he pushes forward, but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
Good work there, holding them out on first down. And this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
He'll try again, but he will lose yardage here. Back to the 4-yard line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Charbonnet. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. The offense stays out there. A big challenge here from this far back, but they're going for it on 4th and goal. And they'll go for it. Lance. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Cowboys' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. To the air goes Daniels. That one into the hands of Flowers.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
19 tight, 19 tight, 19 line. Trap 60, trap 60. 7 Pirates, 7 Pirates.
To throw is Daniels. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Flowers. And he's going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 43. Now a timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. In motion left here, one of their tight ends. Daniels looking to throw. On the catch, it's Crowder. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. The Commanders going to use the second of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. I know when you got a top tight end like this, you want to get him involved, but when you do, you're hoping for more than that.
You certainly are. You've got to try and get him some space where he can make a play downfield, or at least an opportunity for some rack yardage, right? That run after catch.
Now Daniels. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a 1st down.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
And a short gain down to about the 33. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. Well behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 18.
Come 19, come 19.
Throwing now is Daniels. Throw caught by Flowers. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. It'll go as a gain of 4. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. A good, tight football game thus far. 10-7 the score as we resume action on EA Sports. And we will not see a return of the dynamic kickoff. And the first drive of the second half will commence from the 30-yard line. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
And a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. Here's 2nd and 8. That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. And McLaurin going to pick up a Commander's first down as he'll get this up past the 40. They'll get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Washington. A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown as his guys are able to extend their lead.
I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And this return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one. Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Lance looking to throw it. He finds his man, complete. It's Russell. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Working from the gun, Lance. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the 2nd half. That's just his 2nd incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit. A lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Lance. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now 4th down. So now on comes the field goal unit. And wow, this is no ordinary try here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. And they will not cut into that 10-point lead.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
Now he's loose down the left sideline. Touchdown, Washington. A great effort there. With now his 2nd touchdown of this 3rd quarter. And the Commanders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Lutz will look to add the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Pass taken in by his big tight end, and he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Gets it to Gordon. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a gain of 16 and the Dallas first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. 43 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
We're off to the fourth quarter here on Christmas Eve. Second and goal from the 1. The Lance going to throw. And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Cowboys have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And this is going to be covered up by Washington. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Up the middle they go. Parker. And he's going to be met at about the 43. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
And this is the worry, because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up, and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
Daniels from the gun on 3rd down. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and the lead will hold at 10. Charles, all things considered, I guess that's not a critical miss at this stage, is it?
No, but still everything helps when you're trying to finish off a ball game. And you're right, not critical in terms of the scoreboard and the team, but the guy with the golden foot, he knows he's only as good as his last kick.
From midfield, here's Lance. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Kind of a fine line when you're setting up the screen. You don't want to throw it too early and have the defense react too quickly. And you definitely don't want to throw it too late. And that way it's not formed perfectly. Got to make sure you hit it just right.
On 2nd and 10, Lance. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way.
Now Lance unable to escape, and down he goes. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And they will not cut into that 10-point lead. And that one, just an absolute killer. A chance to get this back within 1 score.
All hope not gone yet. But at the same time, you're exactly right. They needed to get back within 1 score and have a motivated defense take the field in order to get it back for them for one last big drive.
Throwing to start the drive. Daniels. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
And this is seemingly how it's been all game long. This defense has been just a step too slow. And here they're burned again. Another big play.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. Parker. And able to work his way down to the 16. 127 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. And all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
And the Commanders are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
But when you're up by 2 scores in the 4th quarter and you're going to throw the football, expect to see a lot of man coverage because usually what comes along with man coverage is pressure. So if you're a play caller and you want to keep throwing the football, that's fine. Just make sure your offensive line understands they're going to get additional guys running at the quarterback.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
Set. Go, Reed. Go.
Going for the knockout punch. They'll try and run. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown of the season, all coming in this game. And the Commanders look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Lutz to try to add the PAT. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. From the gun, it's Lance. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Shotgun now for Lance. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Quan Martin. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. Well, I get it, Charles. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Down big. They just sent their receivers out, let it fly. But the defense, they were ready.
Yeah, and there aren't too many people left in this stadium that couldn't see that coming. But that's not a major criticism at all because you had to try it. What you're hoping for is one of your athletes out-athletes everyone else and makes a dramatic play.
They'll run on first down. It's Parker fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Now it looks like he'll throw here. Sliding out of the pocket. This one caught by Crowder. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. It's a gain of 34.
In a spot where most offenses would just be trying to get to the finish line and close this game out, they're still looking for points here in the final minute of this game. I think bonuses could be gained and attained with maybe more points.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will take it in. Touchdown, Commanders. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Commanders stretch this 4th quarter lead even further, and they are closing in on win number 12 of the season. Lutz with the extra point, and the lead is now 24. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Here's Cooks on the return. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They have a little bit of time left here, but this one not going to go their way.
And this is where, in this situation for me, you just go ahead and run out the clock, shake hands, congratulations, and move on. Because now, you're not going to make up for what's happened during the game in this last sequence.
We'll see what they do here in this last sequence. Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
so for Washington. The wins keep coming as this one moves them to 12-3 on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for Dallas, it's another loss as they now fall to 4-11. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the Eagles. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gunn. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.